За сегашната лекция имаме Александър Миланов, който ще ни представя различен брой от музикални апликации в браузъра, едни от които са Groovebox, Looper и Sampler. И той ще ни разкаже още много за тях. Моля, аплодисменти.
Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Just a quick question. Is there anyone who doesn't understand Bulgarian in the room? There is one person, okay. Другите имате ли проблем да говоря на английски? Супер. Стъв. Yeah. Okay. Browser Grooves. This is actually version 4 of this lecture because these apps are being developed. Actually, maybe it's version 5 because in 2018 I gave a presentation here at OpenFest for the first app. So there is a little bit of history of that. The other name of this lecture is I didn't have money to buy hardware, so I wrote software. What are we talking about? So these are basically apps that model music hardware. And I'm gonna go a little bit into details. I have different motivation for this work. One is, of course, exploration. The other thing is, who was yesterday at the jam? Zdrasti. I'm organizing different events here in Sofia around Music Tech BG, and also a lot of them are also in ItLab, the hackerspace, which is one of the partners here of the OpenFest. And at least before I bought, now I have hardware, but before I bought it, I also used these apps to jam. And of course, building my own tools. I have some videos. So I'm something between a developer and musician, so I experiment with a lot of things, also some acoustic instruments, like hopefully you'll see. So only acoustic instruments. I'm not sure if we have enough time to play every video to the end, but just to give you a snippet of what the things that I do. This is one of the jam sessions from last year. I wanted to add a clip from yesterday, but I didn't have enough time to edit it, but it will be in YouTube, or for sure you can see what happened. This is a clip from jam at Meetup from last year. If I had a fader, I could, when I stop it, I could fade out, but that's something to improve on my presentation app, which actually also wrote this app, building my own tools. Can you guys hear me well? Okay, good. This is me presenting the jam station at one event, I think in Sweden. As you see, there is also my MIDI controller there. I connected it to my armband, which has an accelerometer and EKG, like gesture handler, let's say. And I managed to connect the accelerometer to the jam station. And you can create different effects with like movement. So this is like exploring in the direction of performance. Okay. And for couple of years, while I was building that, I was promoting my own framework, web-based framework. In my opinion, it was much straightforward than the others. Right now, I mean, I still use it, but I'm not pushing it that much. But just to give you an example, this is basically my framework working on top of the Slides app, working on top of the framework. So we have actions that modify the state, which is reflected in the UI. And you have an action structure, and you can easily create a new action. Just a second. -1. Then you change the UI. Oh. Okay. After line 10. Anyhow, this is the problem of live presentation and writing everything yourself. So you create a new, change that to this, change it here. Decrease. Okay. Yeah. Cool, so we did like a pair coding live. Cool. I'm not gonna go through the timeline. I mentioned that I did some of the things and some of my interests, so I'm gonna skip that. Let's look at the apps. So the first app that I started, I was talking about it being a DAW. And actually, a digital audio workstation kind of simulates a lot of different hardware that was used to produce music, like in late 70s, 80s. So they're actually those modeled hardware and studio equipment. But at this stage, I can call it a Groovebox. What the Groovebox is basically it has a sequencer. It has some kind of synth engine and maybe some kind of drum machine or a sampler. And currently, in its current state, it has the UI interface is heavily inspired by at least a version of FL Studio that I used 25 years ago, where you have where you can directly interact with the drum sequence. So, for example, if you play, just a second. And then you can, for some reason, this pointer, when it's full screen. There is some kind of misalignment in full screen mode. Okay. So basically, you can create your own drum pattern. This is the sequencer element and the drum machine in one. The other point is it has a synth. You can use keyboard, or you can directly interact with the screen. I have a tablet, so there's different ways you can record things. And for example, I'll just make a short recording. This is the first app I created. It has these two elements. It has a session manager, so technically you can build a whole track with different parts. You can have different MIDI devices that interact with it. And I've also used it to control other MIDI devices. So you can use it as a sequencer that you can connect multiple devices. The synth engine is not that complex. It has two oscillators that create the sound. It has a square wave and sorry? Sawtooth, yeah, sawtooth wave. Has several, you can control the shape of the sound, or attack, decay, and sustain. Now, if I just let's see if I can. So technically you can create different types of sounds directly in the app. So you can have a bass line, you can have some kind of strings for harmony, and some like a bell-like for melody. So we have some ability to control the sound. Okay, have some time. Currently there are some samples that you can also use, like a small sample library. I want to expand it, that you can get sounds from Freesound or record your own sounds, like you can do with one of the other apps. But this is for when I have time to implement that. Or if somebody really wants that, then for me it's additional motivation to implement this feature. What else? Inspiration from FL Studio, the original app. I mentioned that also I integrated it with different devices like the armband. And yeah, I mostly used it a lot to experiment and to connect it with other devices, and it was my main, how should you say it, main tool to sequence music and explore different things for a while. As I said, you can quickly sketch some kind of a melody or a track. You can use, for example, you can have odd time signatures. It has a, for example, we can make this in 7/8, and so this is Axel F in 7/8. So you can definitely use it to, if you want to learn the guitar or some other instruments, you can create very easily some kind of basic harmony and some progression, and you can jam on top of that. Rhythm exploration, I mentioned that because it supports odd time signatures, and I said MIDI clock centerpiece, and you can connect other devices through MIDI. As I've created right now one device, but yeah, you can do more. Current works, the piano roll currently is just for visualizing, and it would be nice if you can just draw the notes directly. There are some issues. If you heard when I press play, there is a delay of sometimes of one bar, and I would definitely want to make it a responsive interface so that you can use it on the phone. I mentioned that I would like to integrate functions from the other apps, like sampling, and some audio loops would be, it would be a huge step in going to the digital audio workstation route. Yeah, there are some open source file conventions or music, like music XML is for notation, and DAW project is something that is used in Bitwig and some other DAWs to share project data between them. And right now, you have VCF, like. So you have a low pass and high pass filter. You have an LFO. That I need to. And reverb. So you have some tools that can shape your sound. I think this was making it like a more. But currently you can only toggle it on and off, and I would like to have it to be able to add specific effect to specific tracks. And it would be nice to allow for third-party plugins. So if somebody wants to create some kind of effect and integrate it, to be able to add it to the software. Especially now with WebAssembly, where you can compile C code to something that runs in the browser. Well, I was giving the demo. All of these apps are hosted in my GitHub account. So Alex-Milanov, and you'll be able to find them. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to create a link for this presentation somewhere in the site of OpenFest, but this also can be published in my GitHub. Right, so this is the first app. By the way, do you guys have any questions about it?
When you say integrate with like support additional plugins, do you mean something like Blockspot or like those types of standardized stuff, or more something that would be specific to this?
I think we might start with something specific. And at some point, of course, if there's a community and people want to use it, definitely there'll be a direction to integrate like common ways to share plugins. Yeah. So this is the first and the main app that I'm developing. I'm kind of hearing an echo. I don't know if, yeah. Cool. So the second app is the Whooper. Yesterday, if you were there, actually the Whooper, the inspiration for this app was the centerpiece of the jam. It's a way, what inspired me, just a second, is this RC505 loop station by Bose and Roland, which was quite popular back in the day, especially for beatbox battles, where people were creating tracks on the fly, like. So I was watching a lot of these battles and I couldn't afford this device, so I said, how hard would it be to create this one? And yeah, mega creative name. The first is Jam Station, the second is GS Loop Station. Yeah, and very creative with naming things. It has 4 loop tracks, and you can technically connect several instruments at the same time. So when I'm talking about this, I think it would be nice to be able to see it. So instead of 5, I created with 4 tracks because this controller has 4 sets of pads. Right now it's not working, but technically I created so that you can control it even with this device. And the interaction is that right now it's connected to the default input, but technically you can connect a guitar, microphone, or another instrument, and you can loop or record things together at the same time. So let me give you an example of how it works. Check, 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 and check 1, 2. Can you guys, is there a sound from the? Check, check. Check 1, 2. Give me a second. Let me see if it's connected. Oh, it's my fault. The laptop went to standby and it disconnected. So check, check. Cool. Well, it happens. So let me try to create a loop. Oh, let's clear everything. Yeah. So that's a simple loop, and if I had connected it to the MIDI device, it would be much more like a direct performance. Right now I had to click on or touch the screen, and it was not very direct. Or I haven't practiced it. Maybe if I practice with the touch interface, it will be better. So this is the second app. It's functioning as you expect. There are some things like quantizing the recording, because sometimes it starts earlier or later, and it makes it so that it's kind of synced between all the different tracks. Yeah, do you have any questions about this app?
Do you plan to create a video in YouTube like this?
Maybe I will. Yeah, that's a good idea. Of course, the RC505 has a lot more functions. This is why I'm also using it instead of this. But definitely, it's and actually, some of this functionality are going to be integrated also in the other apps, and all of them are open source. So if you guys have some ideas how we can use them, or if you want to add something like there, please contact me and open the app, clone it, look at the source code, create a bad review. No, I'm joking. But yeah, it's something that I decided to share at some point. So all of them are in GitHub with open licenses. So yeah. Semi-functional looper, yeah. Oh yeah, I created. I used to use it with the foot switch, which allows me to loop and use the guitar at the same time. It is fun. Yeah, effect chains. Mobile devices. This is like one of my top to-dos for all the apps, and of course it's hosted in GitHub. Maybe I'll create a website at some point for these apps. Yeah, it's not top priority, but it would be nice to have the information in one place. The last app, okay, I have a little bit of time. Sampler, this is, so the first app was modeling a Groovebox, the second was modeling Looper, and the third one is modeling a sampler. And sampler, if you don't know what it is, it's basically a lot of hip-hop artists use this type of software to create their tracks. The MPC, I think, was one of the top devices that was used for that. And this kind of models that. Inspiration from Akai MPC series. I own SP404, and I kicked off this app in a hackathon in Abbey Road Studios several years ago, before the pandemic. Interesting part about it is there was an Audio Commons project which integrated free sound and other similar projects to create a platform where you can search for sounds that have Creative Commons or CC0 or others that you have to attribute the creator. It has a grid interface, as you would imagine, like an MPC to have, like a row of 4x4. It has a search panel where you can search for sounds, for example, from Freesound. Let's search for kicks. Then you can, for some reason, the HDMI connection kind of just give me a second. Yeah. Probably the same person sampled something multiple times. Let's see. This is kind of better. And you can play the sounds, and if you like a certain sound, you can add it to the grid. Or another option that you have is you can record or sample some of your instruments. Like yesterday I brought some Cuban percussion, or in this case, you can sample your voice. Like we have a kick, maybe a snare. And of course, I don't want to have like a gap in the start of the sound, so we have some basic wave editing, or really basic. So you can either crop the sound, or you can flip it. Or you can only crop it at the moment, I guess. So it's as it is. It basically creates your palette of different sounds, and at this stage, and you can use a MIDI controller to finger drum at the moment. So what is the future of this direct sampling workflow, search and explore sample? Potential use case is if you have, as some people, including myself, have different sampling devices or drum machines, it would be nice to have one like a sample library where you can organize your sounds and pick them, and then you can export them to a format that is for a specific device. But currently, it's not. It's far from there. The current works, I added it in the previous presentation that reintegrate the Free Sound API because after the Audio Commons project finished, or the financing for it, it stopped working, and yeah, but now there is a connection to Free Sound again. Would be nice to have some sequencing logic, like in the Jam Station you can sequence pre-made drum sounds, but here you can just sample the sounds directly and create a sequence. It would be nice if you can have this function directly in the app. And it's like the Groovebox and sampler have different types of interface. So Groovebox kind of incorporates a little bit of the interaction as a sampler, but sampler first, like the SP404 or the MPC series, is a different way you can create sound. So it's, even though we are integrating, I'll be integrating functionalities from one app to the other, it's still a plus because all of them have different interface to interact with. It would be nice, I think the looping of the samples would be something that can be done quickly. So for example, you can, as in a looper, you can create like a basic beat or load something that loops, and then you can finger drum on top of it. So this is on the horizon for this app. Well, I'm not sure about, this is why I wrote maybe, splice integration or other sample providers. Currently it's Free Sound. It's fine for a lot of cases, but for some cases it would be nice maybe to have other sources as well. And as I mentioned, it would be really nice if it's if you have functionality to manage your whole sample library and be able to import and export samples from different hardware. Again, it's hosted in my GitHub account. Do you guys have any questions about this app? You can use them together. I haven't explored it that much, but basically all of them are currently running. I think there was some limitations if they're not in the active tab. There might be some yeah.
Maybe if you just pull all the tabs into separate windows, it should force them to stay all alive.
Yeah, I'm gonna try something. Just a second.
Actually, I don't know if this browser is just a single thing.
Give me a second. You gave me an interesting idea. It's too far from this. Oh! Look, you're giving me an interesting.
Would they be separate clients here, or would the browser just be one client?
Every tab is a separate thing. But no, you won't be able, I understood, like you can create, I probably can connect the monitor of the browser to as an input, but
Connect the sampler to the looper and just have the looper loop whatever.
yeah, sadly doesn't, right now doesn't work that way. But yeah, yeah, that's a limitation that if I compile these apps as a desktop apps, then yes.
But the browser just groups everything in a single.
Yeah, yeah. But technically, I can, like, right now I was sampling this, but for example, not the best, but just for demonstration purposes. Yeah. So if you really want to do it, you can create something and use them together. The jam station, if you create like, how should I say it? There is MIDI through ports. You can technically put the output of the sequencer to the through port and put the input of the sampler again to the through port. So you have to have this. In Linux, there are some commands that you can create multiple through ports. So this is a way you can connect them together within the same machine. So technically, yes. I haven't worked too much into integrating them, but with the browser, for the sound especially, it's I don't know if it's on the radar of Google or other browser developers to have every tab as a single app with inputs and outputs. But it can be like with Electron and other tools, you can package these apps as a desktop apps, and then you can definitely do that. So this is the third app. I'll find a way if I can publish this, because we have some more things that I wanted to share, like web audio. So let's go a little bit through web audio. There's a little bit web audio and web MIDI. It's an interesting API. You have an audio context, which gives you a lot of things. It's the node that you connect to all the other nodes. And I created this modular synth picture because this is a way you can interact with web audio. We basically have different nodes that are connected to each other. The context is the main node, and to create an oscillator or audio source or oscillator source, basically, you use this context.createOscillator, and then you can oscillator connect context.destination. So it's really straightforward. And like an example, it's like the pure waves is not the best thing for your ears, but is basically, you can see the code behind it. Then we connected it. Then we have we start and stop functions, and then well, it's self-explanatory. So after 2 seconds, stop the sound. And disconnect it. This was not the, okay, so what do I change? Okay, so it's, this is an example to use a sawtooth wave and a specific frequency. I think it's A or La. Sorry for that. It's like a pure sawtooth wave. Maybe you can lower the sound a little bit for this this part of the presentation, because it's if you don't have a gain node which you can create the volume, then it's okay. 1 minute. It's a very not that pleasant sound. Yeah, and this is the fourth, I think, node that you can use. And okay, here I can. So it's an example of how you can modify the sound, and here I sequenced a simple melody. A very children song type of thing, but as you see, with a little bit of code, you can use web audio to create different possibilities or write software with it. There is some more slides for web MIDI and for input and output in the browser, but definitely I'll try to publish it someplace so that you can use it as a tutorial. How can you get in touch with me? In GitHub, Alex-Milanov. All the apps are hosted there. And Alex_Milanov_ is my Instagram account where I post clips and things like that, and you can DM me there as well. Community, Music Tech BG is the thing that, like the umbrella that we organize events and jams and things like that. And InitLab is the hackerspace in Sofia where a lot of our events take place, and it's like a partner for this conference. Do we have time for more questions, or it's?
Yes, so we have a few minutes more for some questions. If anybody has anything to ask, he can go to the microphone in the middle so everyone can hear.
So hi, thanks for the really nice presentation. So one of the very most difficult thing when you're writing software for audio and music in particular is latency.
Yeah.
And so I'm very impressed that you seem to have very low latency even if you're developing in basically JavaScript here. So do you have to do anything special here to reduce latency and have a nice experience?
Thank you for the question. Yes, it is. And I've done some optimizations for some of the software. For the looper is actually the ones that if you have latency, you cannot loop effectively, or you can't loop, like if it's over a certain like milliseconds, then you cannot process it. So this is why currently the sound does not go through the browser, because if it goes through the browser, there's already a higher latency that then you can work with. So as you guys saw, I routed it directly through Linux. Like there is this Katya software which I got the input from the mixer to the output of the HDMI so that I can perform looping. I mean, if you ask Google or you have contact there to optimize this, probably they're that, but I imagine that it's not their high priority.
Thank you very much.
But there are workarounds, as you saw.
Okay, so sadly we're a bit over our time. So if anyone else has any other questions, you can meet Alex Milanov outside of the hall. And that's pretty much it. Please, a round of applause for his presentation.
Yeah, guys, if you have any ideas, these are the links, Alex_Milanov_ in Instagram or GitHub. Yeah, thank you.